Welcome to another conversation that we're having before our August boot camp. This is going to be a really exciting weekend where Nicole and I are going to be training the students on where they're going wrong in approaches, their sub-communicated types of communication, non-verbal. We'll be going through structuring your approaches, how to utilize wing girls, and social freedom, how to find that part of you that's just been hidden and buried over the years. We're going to be doing all of that in one weekend to get as much of the training out of the way ahead of time so that you guys know as much as possible before you even arrive in Florida. So if you're watching this and you feel like you have got an absolute steal from me, that's great. That's how I want you to feel. I want you to feel like completely free without even needing to attend the boot camp, that you are getting access to all the training. And that's because I feel like in-person immersion events are very powerful because we get to take you from wherever you're at to the next point, the next checkpoint, the next milestone. And so what I can do is build you up as much as possible before we actually get to Florida. So thank you so much for attending right now. It's really important that there's people here whilst we're doing this live, just so that we can offer that opportunity to answer questions and make sure that things make sense whilst we're doing this. I am going through wing girl maxing today. This is the first day of our boot camp. Friday is all going to be about how to maximize the fact that you have wing girls, and then Sunday is going to be what you can do when you go home in your city to actually build your entourage, your social circle, and start to have wing girls of your own. A lot of people that come out with me in different cities get to enjoy the fact that I bring wing girls with us and that I just have social circles in a few cities. It's been really powerful, especially on boot camp, and you are going to get to experience this yourself if you come with us to Florida in August. So this is wing girl maxing today. What we're going to go through is value that you gain, the value that you get to harness and adopt by being with wing girls when you're out, and how that gives you social proof. It shows people exactly where you stand in the social hierarchy, and it gives them an indication of how much respect and investment they should give to you. We're also going to be going over the communication styles, but we're talking specifically about how to change your communication, how you need to tweak the things that you say and the mindset that you have so that you can actually host women, because hosting women is very different to hosting men. You need to think ahead, you need to be more sharper, you also need to be more emotionally attuned to what's going on. And the social icons framework is what I teach. This is how you can build your social network in 6 weeks in your city by throwing and hosting events that actually suit you and your dating life, that bring you closer to the dating life that you really want. O in icon. I is for identify, C is for community, O is for offering value. And we will be going through offering value today, how you are offering value to the wing girls. And this is going to help you to make this more mutualistic. So it's not just a take, you are actually giving, you're being like, a helpful person in this girl's life, and try to think like, women are people. So women are going to have needs. They have random things in their life that they wish that they could solve. And you can be that person that brings that solution into their life. We are also going to talk about how you can integrate these concepts with your trainings from Modern Success. So if you're using the attraction ladder, you'll know how effective it is. It's a proven framework for building attraction, building connection, going from first meeting to having a date to hooking up with a girl. This is how you can integrate what I'm teaching you with the Modern Success components so that you don't feel like this is a whole new concept. This isn't. This is in addition to how to maximize the attraction ladder using wing girls. So we're going to be going through all of that. But first of all, I just want to talk about the problem, right? So a lot of guys, they go out with other guys. They go out with their friends. They might go out with a wing man, and you and your boys give off an aura of predatory energy. You are here for one reason, which is to meet girls, and procrastinating like the boys actually are there to help buffer you so that you don't have to meet any girls. So the problem is that you're not using wing girls. You don't know how. You are just going out with male company, and this causes a lot of issues. It's a very good strategy for your dating and for your business to start to learn how to wing girl max and start to utilize the women that are already in your life. So the problem is that women outsource their concept of who's valuable and who is sensible and who is the right person for them to, to connect with, to flirt with. They don't know how to figure out social hierarchies. They don't know how to work out who is respected by the others. They don't know how to work out who has value, intrinsic value, and a good foundation. So what women do, instead of working it out, because they can't, because they don't know how, because they're not aware of those kind of social constructs, what they do instead is they let the room work it out for them. So they let other people, for example, like the owner of the place, or the security, or the DJ, or somebody who has a lot of bottles in the club. Like, all of these kind of places are where they'll look to see, like, how is the room responding to the individual? So if the room responds really well to you, then women will be like, all right, like, if the room responds really well to him, then I might as well give him a chance. Then I might as well invest into him. I might as well see where this goes. Women aren't able to make that decision, so they're letting the room make that decision for them. And one of the ways that they do that is they see who is with women and who is without women, and that helps them to work out stuff like, are you emotionally intelligent enough to be around women? Are you an asshole and difficult to get along with? If they see you with women, that's obviously going to make them more sure that you're the type of person that women can be around and have fun and enjoy their time. Now, a big issue is that if you are relying on going up to girls and starting conversations, then you have to rely on your chat. Now, you'll have watched Love Island, you'll have seen them pulling people for a chat. This is the same thing. It's all about the chit chat. How are you able to use your conversation to progress through the attraction ladder, or whatever, your attraction builders? Maybe you are using different techniques, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to how good was your chat and whether you are able to progress things. So you need to have good chat. If you don't have good chat, wing girl maxing is a great solution. All right, so when a man comes up to a woman, she is immediately going to realize that there's a power differential, there's a strength differential, there's a height differential, and she is going to immediately worry about her safety. She's going to feel in herself that she needs to be guarded and protect herself and have boundaries just in case a situation occurs. So they just assume that they need to have their guards up and their barriers up, and if you have other women there, then they don't need to have the same amount of guard up. They don't need to worry as much because they trust that there's another woman there, so it must be a different scenario. Sometimes, for example, we were just talking about this today, is that sometimes the guys that are around you, like maybe your friends, maybe the people that you hang out with, they just don't have good enough game. So you might meet a girl and you might really click with her. You leave her for 2 seconds with your friends. You turn your back for 2 seconds. You turn around again and now they're gone. Now you ask your friend, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, nothing happened. She didn't say anything, I didn't say anything. They just said they needed to go to the bathroom. And he's like, brilliant. Like, you've put all of that time and that work in, and it just dismantles because you can't trust everybody in your group. And some of the time you're just hanging out with dudes because you don't have anybody better to hang out with. And so they're not actually bringing you this value of helping you towards your dating goals. Whereas if you have a woman there, you don't need to worry. You can just deliver the crush to your wing girl and everything's going to be great. She's going to entertain the girl. It's already going to be a guarantee that she's still there when you get back. A lot of you don't have a space to nurture your crushes. So let's say you meet a girl, you really get along, you don't have somewhere to put her, so that if you build that connection, you slowly get closer and closer to actually having a more serious connection. You just don't have anywhere to put her except for one-to-one dates, or maybe to come out with you and your boys. Like, if those are the only two options, it's a really difficult arena to nurture a connection because there's no fun, she doesn't feel comfortable, and you're not going to enjoy being out with your boys with the girl unless that's really well communicated what the intentions are there. Alright, so the sweeper is the next one. This is a football term because the Soccer World Cup is on right now, so no sweeper to recover your failed set. This is when you tried, you fucked up, she didn't like you, it got blown out, and now you need somebody to go in and rescue it. This can be done with a coach. Obviously, if you're with a dating coach and you mess up a set, sometimes your dating coach can just go in, solve it, hook the set, get them engaged, bring them back. Everything's great. This is super easy if you have a girl with you. The girl can go in, compliment her outfit, be like, oh, my friend, oh, you met him already? Yeah, like he's a bit different in that way. No, he's really sweet. Once you get to know him, he's an awesome guy. And then all of a sudden, the girls are just like totally cool with you because a woman was the one that recovered that failed set, and you are just doing things on hard mode. You're just doing dating, clubbing, bars, dancing, all this stuff. You're just making it harder on yourself by not having female friends. So change to the mindset, right? This is all counterintuitive. The more women that I have around me that I'm not dating, the more easier it is for me to attract women. Kind of counterintuitive, but works massively well. Real game changer, and something that we're going to be going through in a little bit more depth today.
With the wing girls that I have that actually, obviously, I don't feel like number one, I'm really using them. Well, I'm not, I guess, positioning them or whatever is the right word appropriately, number one. And number two, I think more so than the problem that you have laid out here, I think the beginning problem I feel like I'm not doing properly is using them with approaching or opening sets
Mm.
appropriately as well. Opening and approaching is probably like one of my weaknesses still at this moment right now. And I
Yeah.
feel like just even using them for that purpose would be great. And just wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So, what did you mean by the poor positioning that you asked at the beginning?
I just feel like, it's one of those things. Like, I know the concept of using women or like having women coming out. I have seen it firsthand, especially with your coaching in field, with how helpful that is, obviously, having women in your group, right? I just feel like right now when I'm going out at the moment. Outside of just having a woman there with me, like a friend, like a women friend circle that's with me, I just feel like it's one of those like they just seem. I mean, maybe I or they, like us together, we just seem so like lacking energy, lacking fun, lacking a vibe. I'm not really sure the right word to say with it, but I mean, outside of having a girl right now to go out with me, I just don't feel like maybe they're not helping, or maybe they're not aware that they should help open sets. I'm not really sure. I guess I said the word positioning, which I guess is a buzzword. I just feel like I'm not effectively using the wing woman that I have, especially one that has developed to be quite great of a wing woman now.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, well, I love the question. I feel like it's stuff that we definitely are going to go through a couple of times, and maybe it's going to just get super clear what you're doing wrong. Maybe you're just not, but I think you've got wing girls, but you're not wing girl maxing, right? Like that's what you're asking is like what makes it wing girl maxed instead of
Correct.
just being a wing girl that I'm hanging out with. And the way that you utilize your wing girl is going to be that difference, right? Like whether you are just sitting next to a girl is not going to do, it's not going to do anything for your dating life. But if you are moving with them, you're having fun with them. The thing is with the wing girls is that they entirely ride your vibe, especially if you've done the wing girl recruitment well and you are taking a leadership role. So now the girls literally look to you for energy. They look to you for like guidance. Like, is this a moment when we're supposed to have fun? And if you're having fun and you're like, hey, let's have some fun right now, they're like, okay, cool. We're good. We can chill. This is the moment to have fun, because they don't know, they're on high alert for whatever it is that you might need next. Like if you want to leave, or if you want to move, or if you want to do this, they're like very receptive to that energy. So if you don't settle, like if you arrive at the ritual, for example, and you're with girls and you get to your table, right? And the first thing that you do at the table is you start worrying about drinks, and you start worrying about the waitress, and you start worrying about the DJ, for example. Let's say the DJ is there and he's like, oh my God, you're here. And you don't settle the girls onto the table first, then they don't know that they should be settled. They don't realize that they're just kind of like hovering, waiting for you to almost like just let them know that everything's a-okay right now. So I think sometimes it's down to communication, sometimes it's down to leadership. I think a lot of it, like in terms of maximizing the wing girls that you have for your dating, you're going to see that's going to come up anyway.
I mean, obviously, we've been out in field together, so you see this. I definitely do realize like there is sometimes uh Distraction or lack of focus, whatever the right word is. I think right now what I am finding out to be an issue, I feel like I'm kind of going into like a really like, I guess, logistic mode of, hey, make sure you get drinks, make sure you feel comfortable, etc. And I'm kind of like not leading the fun, I guess, is that's a word that I just heard you say. And I
Uh,
think that's like a really, that's a strong word, because I don't think I'm doing that appropriately at all.
okay, so what role are you playing when you're like, have you had a drink? Are you good? Like, what do you call that role?
I would say like that's more of a host role.
Host role, okay. So maybe there's like a host energy that you're entering in that moment, right? You're like trying to be host, good host. And what do you call the role where you're leading the fun? Like, what do you call that person?
Um, I mean, I would say like, I guess for lack of better word, like the leader of fun.
Okay, so you want to move from host to leader of fun, right? Like
Correct.
you want to swap, you want to change what energy you are carrying because nobody's making you be host and nobody's making you be leader of fun, right? So you're just entering host mode because you need to in essence comfort yourself. You're the one who needs comforting, so you go into host mode because you don't feel comfortable until everybody else is comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like just like watching these first two slides just has blown my mind, because I thought, till seeing this right now, I thought like, as a host, here I am hosting, and then the wing women are kind of going to be the one that are like, I don't know the right word. I mean, I don't want to sound very misogynist here, but like, are kind of like the bait, if that's the set, if that makes sense. And I'm starting to realize like, even though I am the host, I need to be active in leading the fun as well.
Yes. If you look at the long term play of wing girls, like sometimes they come once, they come twice, they come three times, and they're like, I'm not really having that much fun to the point where I would choose going to Punkage's event over just going out with my friends, right? Like you wanna see the night out as your responsibility, that you are the one that's leading the fun, creating the fun, and that you are making sure that everybody has a great time. A little bit of the host, like obviously the host is really important. Like I was saying, if you get to your table, that's the time to do host mode. Sit down, guys. Like make sure you're comfortable. Like this is Molly. Molly's gonna look after you guys. Like this, Molly, this is Eres, this is Aaron, etc. Like you're kind of doing that host mode, and then once everybody's settled, then you can go and do social network mode, which is like I need to say hi to the DJ, I need to say hi to Steven, etc. All of these other people that are really important.
Got it.
Then you come back, and then you're like, all right, now is leader of the fun mode, right? Like everybody's
I
settled.
understand.
I've done all my social network. Now is my opportunity to make sure that everybody has a sick time, that they, Eris posted that photo, that video after Sexy Nerds, and she said on her story, I actually had a really good time. Like she was surprised. She was like, I actually had a really good time. And I think that you just shifting modes, being like super conscious, like I'm not just on a night out, I'm not just like floating through my night out. No, like this is kind of like it's a volunteer service that I'm doing to do wing girl maxing, and I have to put in 9 times more than what I get out from wing girl maxing. I have to put in quite a lot of time, energy, maybe expenditure, all of the other things, maybe being therapist sometimes. It's quite an expensive project, but what you do get back, the one that you get back, it's so valuable because it's the one that you couldn't get by yourself anyway, right? It's like it multiplies your dating life, so it's so worth it. But there is a little bit of like you have to give, you have to put the fuel on the fire for this to really work.
Yeah, thank you. That's very helpful.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get to the next slide, and I'll make sure that we touch on all the things that we want to. Okay. So here's the big differences between your wing girls, who are kind of recruited and they are curated, so they're specifically chosen, right? They're not just whichever girl agrees to be your wing girl first, right? Like you want to curate your circle and you want to keep improving it and you want to make sure that the group works well together because it's not just about having attractive women, it's about having attractive women that listen to you. It's about having attractive women that listen to you and get along with your other attractive female friends. It's about having attractive female friends who listen to you and get along with others and don't mind when you meet new girls. So here's a few things that I put down that make a wing girl a wing girl. And one of them is that they help you in set. So inset, meaning when you're talking to a girl, if you are in a conversation with a girl, she is there supporting you, helping you, making you, showing you in your best light, essentially. Maybe she opens with you and maybe she opens for you. These are two like parts of it that we can definitely go into a bit more depth. This is the only part of the slides that it actually talks about it. So if you want to go into more depth, we can definitely do that shortly. All right, so speaks highly about you. This is like if you're talking to a girl and it's in direct comparison here to the other side, which says teases and speaks down about you. If you're talking to a girl, and even if you're with one of your boys and your boy starts bad mouthing you and talking down about you to that girl, you need to have a conversation with them. But because they're women, all of a sudden we start to get afraid of having difficult conversations. We start to pedestalize them and think like, oh, we don't want to rock the boat. Well, you need to rock the boat, because if you don't have somebody who speaks highly about you, then you don't have a wing girl. You just about have a female friend. Just about have she's a female, just about a friend, right? So it's important, and this is why curating the circle is your job. Over time, you get rid of the girls who don't speak highly enough about you, because they cost you so much. They actually are holding you back massively. So you want to upgrade your circle as you go. Somebody who trusts in your leadership. I haven't spoken too much about leadership when it comes to wing girl maxing, but you kind of want a girl, you want a wing girl who's going to do what you say when you say to do it. You don't want a girl who's like full of dissent, disrespectful, doesn't respect your authority, difficult unnecessarily. Maybe she drinks too much and all of a sudden she's a bit of a monster. You know, somebody who trusts your leadership and recognizes that when they hang out with you, that's a blessing. You are blessing them. You are giving that, you're gifting them the opportunity to hang out with you, and you start to see it only that way. That's like the only way to visualize this, is that they are blessed and lucky to be hanging out with you. And so what that trade-off is that they must trust your leadership, because if you're hanging out with me, you are going to have a good time. That's the guarantee. That's kind of what we're talking about, where like I want you to switch on that part of your brain that's like, I'm the leader of the fun right now. This is the moment to make sure that, not make sure that people are having fun, almost like ram fun down their throat, right? Like you have some tricks up your sleeve that you're going to do, make sure that people have fun. And now like you've got the right girls in your circle. Once you have the right girls, if they're speaking about you when you're in set with other people, etc., you want them to be very careful with the way that they speak about you, because if they're not respectful and considerate with their language, then they are kind of disrespecting the whole thing, right? They're kind of undermining the whole process, and they are getting all the benefits of hanging out with you without giving the small price to pay, which is just to not speak badly about me. It's like, it's not that hard. So yeah, all of this leadership stuff is not stuff that I've gone over in depth, and probably we'll wait for Louis Theroux to come on next week and we can go over that together. So
I don't get that joke. Is that a British joke?
Louis Theroux is the Manosphere Netflix documentary interviewer.
Oh, got it, got it, okay, got it. I thought it was like some old like London joke. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just because like some of this stuff, like being a leader and like wanting to have submissive girls in your group is difficult to talk about online. Just like
Well, I don't think though. I think the concept of it. It's a little interesting because I see where it kind of leads into this, but I mean, once again, like you're building a social circle, You're offering value of protection and value to women who, you know, are your wing girls. I think the term leadership, I mean, it's kind of like a little bit of an arrangement, right? That you're having. So it's not like necessarily, I don't think it's as negative of a word
Yeah.
in this sense, because once again, it's not that you're the head of this corporation in which you have people under you, right? But it's kind of like this, you know, this subtle understanding agreement. It's not that like, hey, I bought food and I bought the drinks, so therefore you gotta listen to me. But at the same time, if you are kind of investing in the group, if you are kind of like, you know, inviting people to your party, then I think the word leadership, I see what you're talking about and how it gets misconstrued. But I think leadership is important because this is your party. Like we had a house party, if you know, that we threw here in Dallas, you know, like us directing what time people like left, does that make us horrible people, so to speak? I mean, that's the leadership that we have to show for our house and our possession.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it just comes down to observing people's behavior. You know, this is not about forcing anybody to leave the house party at 8 because we want everybody to leave. It's not about forcing them. It's just about saying like it's time to go home. And if somebody refuses to go home, well, you know they're not coming next time. Like that's not somebody that you can invite. And these wing girl situations are so small scale. Like it's like just you, your friend, and a couple of girls going out for a drink. The worst scenario is that you just don't invite her again next time. So nothing too dramatic. We're definitely not trying to be dramatic. Just trying
Yeah.
to minimize the possibilities that when things matter, like let's say you guys are at Breakaway Festival, you're at like a festival and somebody gets lost from the group and you need to go and find them. Maybe you might just want like people to listen to you sometimes. Like this is the moment where people listen to you, and if they're just used to not listening to you and that's not the way that your group works, well, in that moment you might feel pain, stress, responsibility, but no authority, and so you just can't get things done as well as you would like to. So the last one here is understands and supports your dating goals. This is like, obviously guys want to meet girls. Like obviously they want to meet girls, but some girls want you to do well at meeting girls, and some girls are like, oh my, I can't imagine anything worse than a guy meeting a girl. Like that's the most tragic thing. So like somebody who understands but then also supports you and wants you to succeed, wants to see you do well in your dating life, it's going to be a really important factor for a wing girl. Here's your female friend stuff. Prefers connections that she already knows. Introverted, you know, like doesn't want to meet new people. All right, some girls don't want to meet new people. That's okay. It just means that she's not actually a maxed out wing girl. Speaks badly about you. Resists accepting new women into the circle. You could bring another girl into your circle. You introduce her to your wing girl, and your wing girl like gives her a bit of a cold shoulder, flicks her hair, and just like doesn't have time for it. So you're not even being a normal human being sometimes because they're just like dealing with their own stuff, or they're incapable of being emotionally balanced because of whatever's going on in their own world. And that's a female friend, not a wing girl. Somebody who challenges your authority, female friend, not a wing girl. So here is your quick, simple list of openers to try next time that you have a wing girl. So probably you've seen How I Met Your Mother, pretty famous show. Barney Stinson. People used to call me that at uni because I always used to wear suits all the time. So great show. A lot of dating tips in there. Some of them ridiculous. Don't think that is a dating that is any sensible dating advice. Have You Met Ted is one of the openers from the show. All it is that the girl just gets introduced to Ted and is like, have you met Ted? And just says, have you met Ted? So that's the Have You Met Ted opener. Pretty simple. You just introduce the girl, your wing girl. Have you met Nicole? Have you met Kate? Yeah, pretty straightforward.
This is Kate.
just like this top opener, have you met Ted? It's literally just like, this is this girl. That's all that you have to say. Don't need to get involved. Don't need to start a conversation. Don't need to be cold reading, doing any openers. Just say, this is this girl. Have you met this girl? Have you met Nicole? Or this is Nicole. Or hey, I really want to introduce you to Nicole. This is your opener. There's a group of girls, they're standing right in front of you and you don't know what to say and you're standing right next to your wing girl. You just introduce the wing girl first and you just let things unfold because it generally goes really well. So, I'm trying to introduce you to this person and you just bring your wing girl over, just like, hey, I want to introduce you to Nicole. And the girls just love the fact that they're meeting another girl. They don't get to meet that many girls. This is one of the things that you offer as value is the opportunity to make other female friends because women find it extremely hard to make friends as adults. Hey, I'm trying to settle a bet. This is Nicole. We're trying to settle a bet right now. We need your female opinion. Perfect opener. Hey, I think you'd really get along well with, and then you just name drop your wing girl, and then you can go into, intuitive guessing, attraction story, all that kind of normal stuff that you would do, but you've just name dropped your wing girl. You're like, hey, I really think that you'd get along. You just point over to where your wing girls are, and you just let them know that there's a possibility that you guys will get along. That's all. Just try and keep it simple. These openers are super easy because you don't need to do any hard work. Alright, so this is how you recruit a wing girl. False disqualification is right at the top there because false disqualification is something that I encourage students to use on every single one of their approaches, that whether you like the girl or you don't like the girl, you should be false disqualifying her because this sets you apart from every other guy who's told her how pretty she is and how much that they want to get married and have babies. You can set yourself apart by making her problematic for you. It's kind of a joke. She doesn't know whether you're teasing, and there's a reason why you're not going to get along, but the reason is never valid. The reason is something that doesn't really make enough sense for it to be a lifelong decision, like we are not going to go out together. It's something that doesn't really make sense. So false disqualification, something that I encourage you guys to do every time that you're talking to a girl. But the false disqualification suits wing girl Maxine perfectly. So you meet a girl, you're like, getting along great. Oh my God, there's no way that we're going to work out. You're my new wing girl. Playfully rapport breaking. This is a moment where you get to tease her and let her know that you're just not interested, you're not invested, you're not committed to her. You're breaking rapport. It's playful, it's a tease, and it ends up with her being a wing girl. The beautiful thing about all of these playful rapport breaks and false disqualifications is that you get her into her imagination now. She is a wing girl, but she thinks that wing girl is this whole big song and dance parade thing. So you're like, oh my God, you my new wing girl. And she's like, really? I wonder what a wing girl does. I wonder if it's this. I'm going to do all this stuff as a wing girl. She's like starting to let her imagination unleashed and think she's enjoying the fact that she gets to play make-believe and you're putting her into this role play. Alright, so reciprocation. The reciprocation that I'm talking about here is about you being the wingman for her. A lot of girls, they want to have a boyfriend, they want to have a husband, but that doesn't necessarily mean you. When you start to get really good at meeting girls, you start to realize that there's a lot of girls that aren't right for you. There's a lot of girls that you meet that you just actually don't want to date, you don't want to see them again, you don't want anything from them. And actually, there's a lot of girls that you could get along with, but you just don't think that they're appropriate for you intimately. Relationship-wise, this is not the right person. So you end up demoting her from potential girlfriend to wing girl, but the reciprocation is that she needs a wingman. She doesn't have access to the type of men that she would like to date. She cannot go up to a guy in a bar and start a conversation with him. This is where you come in. This is how you reciprocate. This is how you be her wingman, and that makes her be your wing girl. It's like this mutualistic thing that's happening. The mutualistic thing, keep calling it a thing, this mutualistic relationship that you're building with her is about fulfilling people's needs, making sure that people have more of what they need and less of what they don't need. And so you can work in the initial stages of meeting people to figure out what it is that they need in life, what it is that they desire, what it is that they're missing. And if you can fill that in some way, they're going to be eternally grateful and they are going to want to be around you and want to be a part of your life. So reciprocation and filling people's needs.
I guess right now, though, for a lot of us who are at the stages of building our wing girl circle, build it first and then start getting choosier. I think something that I always hear you say.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I talk about the Cinderella social circle, you get to a bar, maybe it's 9 p.m. You're like, you should be just focused on getting wing girls. Like the first girl that you meet, okay, cool, like you seem awesome. Let's go hang out and do some stuff. And then you merge her with another set. You meet some more girls, you meet some more girls, you meet some more girls. It's like you're constantly upcycling the women that you are interacting with all in one night. And seeing your social circle as something that like it's really a reflection of you. Do you know that phrase like you are the sum total of the 5 people that you hang out with the most?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like your wing girl social circle is very much a reflection of how well you're upkeeping your life, that you're like emotionally intelligent, socially connected, all of those things, like they get reflected in your social circle. You really stay away from the financial side of things, like find her needs and fill it. It just isn't a financial thing. And maybe you do like have a little bit of a budget. Maybe you're like, all right, like for $80, like, okay, I've got a wing girl. All right, like she's kind of cool. We hang out and stuff. It's like, cost me $80 to have that wing girl. All right, not the worst thing in the world. And sometimes you just budget it in, you know? So, oh, we've got an extra girl, cool. Like, it kind of works.
Yeah. I mean, I think, believe it or not, like since our time together in field in set, I mean, I really haven't increased my wing girl number at the moment. Possibly one more, as I've told you before. I think with that one and in general, I don't think it's inappropriate. Like let's say we go to Columbia Country Club, get drinks. Like I'm not going to ask her to split it, right? Or if we go out to the Ritual or whatever, I'm not going to ask her to split it. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily feel like it's transactional at this moment because at the same time she is like asking like, hey, let's hang out sometime. And this is someone who's definitely within her capabilities of, XYZ, like paying for herself, whatever, right? I think like this would have been more of a concern, I think, when we were starting to go out because we were just bottling it so much. So I feel like at that time, like now I'm starting to get consciously aware of maybe not necessarily providing that big financial investment, but I'm just kind of curious about, just feel like little things just could build up potentially over time.
It's about precedence. So whatever your kind of rules are, you want to stick to them. And if like Robbie was on the call last week, he's taking some yachts out for 4th of July, right, in Miami, in the bay. And he had a queue of girls. He had like 20 girls that were waiting to get on his yacht. So it's just like, he's not really gonna look at those girls and be like, all right, let's split the costs here, because
Of course.
doesn't suit his vibe. It's not the kind of person that he is, and it's not the way that he like conducts himself. Maybe that's the same with you, that like you're just not the kind of person that would conduct yourself in that way. But what you should know about this wing girl maxing is that it's not about you footing the bill every single time, right? Your wing girls should be contributing. You should be sitting, around with your wing girls all around, and the wing girls are paying their way. They're sharing the costs. It's like that because you're not dating them, they don't get girlfriend treatment. But that's not necessarily how I do things myself. Sometimes, like when I'm hanging out with wing girls, I'm like, yeah, cool, like this is me. And then other times, maybe the girls might chip in or buy or whatever. It's just like, it depends on you as a person, the way that you conduct yourself, and that as long as you don't think in your mind that any of this is me telling you that you have to pay the whole time. It's not about money. And you can just tell the wingers like it's going to be this much each. You know, in the same way that we do in the boys' WhatsApp group.
Yeah, no, I think right now, the one that I do have right now, who we met together here, like that's not an issue for me at all because like I think right now, we've developed a very close friendship and it's not even like anything's being asked for. It's like, hey, come join us. Like you're invited kind of thing. Like it's definitely like almost like an invited guest or a homie kind of situation for sure. So I don't think it's necessarily with her. Like there's nothing with her at all where it's a situation. I just think moving forward though, that's just something that I need to be conscious of because I know how that's just such a comfort or whatever the word is, for me to like kind of fall into. And then later on, we're like, oh, shoot, like, got to pay all this stuff. And then it just adds up. You know what I mean?
It's really hard because you have to have difficult conversations right from the beginning. It's worth it. It's worth it to just be like, the like, by the way, like if you come, you contribute. It's fair. We're not sleeping together, so if you want to, if you want to have all your drinks paid for, like, that's your boyfriend's job, kind of thing. It's like it's a bit of a
Yeah.
battle view towards it, because I wouldn't want anybody to come away from this video thinking that there's a suggestion that you have to pay for anybody for anything. You can make your social circle free. You can make your events like non financial events, and you can get as close to splitting the cost as possible. It's like, sometimes it's not that possible with girls. Sometimes you might meet a girl this week and you add her into the social this week. It's like, it doesn't make sense to even have that conversation. It's like, she's just brand new. She's just hanging out. She's like seeing if she likes and enjoys the vibe and stuff. Maybe it doesn't make sense to have that conversation with her. And maybe other times it does. Maybe you're like, oh, okay, I think I need to tell this girl from the get-go what the situation is and how we roll.
Yeah. Great talk. Definitely gives more perspective on the use of wing women. And we'll see how to, like I said, I think right now, the one girl I told you about, I think like she's becoming a friend right now. I mean, like in a good way. So I think it's someone that, like that's someone I feel comfortable asking, like, what do you need?
Yeah.
And it not being like, I let my electricity bill paid for. But
Yeah.
oh shit, bye. I gotta go right now. But
Yeah, and somebody like that, they won't tell you what they need. They just like don't need anything from you. They just enjoy your company,
exactly.
and they just want the vibes. But that's a big thing that a lot of women are missing, right? Like they just don't have anywhere that they can go and like feel safe and comfortable and have a good time. All right. Thank you for coming today. Hopefully that was very, very useful. Hopefully if you're watching, at home, then you got value from today. Obviously, we're doing the boot camp. It's in Florida. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hosting everybody and to make sure that you all get massive transformation. So this is just another week's lecture ahead of the boot camp. If you are considering it, definitely DM me. If you want to actually work out what your dating trouble is, I have a quiz that I'll link under this video, and that you can fill out the quiz and find out exactly where you're going wrong in your dating life and what your best solution would be. So thank you very much. We're going to be doing a similar call like this next Monday, and I will catch up with you guys then.
Thank you.